That's not really my mindset at the moment, that there's nothing to lose. To me, there's everything to lose. This is everything that I've ever worked for. And that's the motivation, that I need to win this fight.
You mentioned earlier,
I mean, that's a big part. But besides all of that, being proud of myself and what I've achieved, being a two-time world champion is something that's very, very special and something that I'll be very proud of. I feel comfortable here in the bubble. I've been here a lot over the last couple of months, and I feel very comfortable here. And this is where the two biggest fights of my career have been. So I love this place. I'm excited to be back, and I'm looking forward to getting the job done on Saturday night. I'm very comfortable being back here. When we arrived back in Vegas, we all said to each other that it feels like we were just here. A lot of time here this year. Basically 5 months in America this year. So it feels like my second home, and I'm very comfortable and, yeah, very confident coming into Saturday night. Being away from my family for so long has been challenging. I've got a young son who's just turned 1 not so long ago, and I haven't seen him for 5 months of this year, so that's been challenging. But I'm very thankful that I've been able to stay active and be involved in these big fights during a year where a lot of fighters haven't been able to fight at all. At all costs. This fight and this belt means everything to me, and I've done absolutely everything possible for the last 5 months to make sure that I win this fight. And all I see is victory, and whatever I need to do on Saturday night, I will do in that ring. So that's what gives me confidence, is that the first fight was very close and I was nowhere near at my best, not even close. So that gives me huge confidence that I will perform much better this time around and I'll win this fight. I've gone into the reasons a few times, but I don't want to make any excuses. He beat me last time. I'll give him credit for that, but I'll let my actions do the talking this Saturday night, and I'll show everyone that I'm much better than I was that first time around. Following the fight, I've got a good game plan. I know what I need to do to win this fight. I'm going to stick to that, as I have throughout this camp in all my sparring, and perform really well. And I'm going to control this fight and win this fight very convincingly on Saturday night. You know, I know that this is what I need to do. These are the sacrifices I need to make, not just for me to achieve my dreams, but also to set my family up for the future, as we touched on. So although I can't be with my son for a long period of time this year, this is what I have to do for his future, to give him a good life and a comfortable life. And that gives me more motivation to win this fight. Put it into words. I've thought about this fight every second of every day for the last 5 months, basically. I'm obsessed that I need to win this fight, and I'm so determined to right that wrong and to get this win back and to get my belt back, most importantly. Family was fine, they were understanding. The injuries, they don't bother me one bit. I've said it before, like, if I have to go through that again to win this fight, then bring it on. It doesn't faze me. Losing the fight is what hurt the most. Just how badly I want this and how much it means to me. That loss lit a fire inside of me, and I've trained like a man possessed for the last 5 months, and I'm ready for Saturday night.
Everyone loves you.
Distance won't be a problem at all. I'm the fittest I've ever been in my life right now. I've sparred 12 rounds plenty of times throughout this training camp and not one bit tired. I'm, in the best condition I've ever been in. This is my opportunity to become a 2-time world champion, to redeem myself and show everyone that I'm much better than I showed last time around when I was here, and for Australia to have a world champion. It's very important for me to show the next generation and the other Australian boxers that it is possible to come over here and, fight on the big stage and succeed. I know that that'd be a huge setback for me. And yeah, not something that I'm even thinking about at the moment. It's not an option.
Given who's headlining,
platform, Top Rank have been amazing to me and my brother, and given us both huge opportunities during this year while the pandemic was on, and co-featured to a massive fight with a huge audience, and this is my opportunity to show the world what I can do.
what would that?
Who knows? There's huge opportunities after this, but I'm not looking past this Saturday night. This is all I'm thinking about. And then I'm looking forward to celebrating a great achievement with my family and friends. Well, I was nowhere near at my best the first fight, but I did make some mistakes in that fight and tactically did some things wrong. So we've watched that fight plenty of times as a team and put together a good game plan and worked on things that I did wrong. And I believe I've made some huge improvements during this training camp and have been boxing better than ever. And I believe you're going to see the best performance of my career this Saturday night.
And obviously,
I'm so thankful to Bob Arum and the Top Rank team for giving me the opportunity to have this rematch. And because, for a few days there, before we talked with Top Rank team and Bob Arum, I was really wondering, where do I go from here after that loss? And was really in a dark place for a few days. But so thankful that the Top Rank team have given me the opportunity to have this rematch and get that world title back. So, there's no way I'm going to let that opportunity miss this Saturday. So once I had news that I was going to get the rematch, that's all I need to hear. I was so determined to get this world title back and to avenge that loss. So as soon as I got back to Australia, we do a hotel quarantine when we get back to Australia. So I was stuck in a hotel room for two weeks, and I started training straight away. And I've trained the last 5 months like crazy, knowing that I'm going to have this opportunity to get my world title back, and made sure that I've done absolutely everything possible to make sure I win this fight. I've got a very clear game plan and vision in my head of how I need to fight and what I'm going to do to win this fight. And I'm very confident that that's what's going to happen.
What sort of
a much better performance for myself. It's hard to, without going into, detail or giving anything away of how we're going to fight this fight, but you're going to see a very dominant performance from myself and a much, much better fighter than you saw in the last fight. That belt more than he does. I can guarantee that. He doesn't have a young family like I do. I'm fighting for my son's future and for my family's future. I'm fighting everything that I've done, every training session, every sacrifice that I've made over the last 17 years all comes down to Saturday night. And I'm not leaving that ring without this belt. I've been here for over 6 weeks now. But I've had a great training camp. I've had great sparring over here. I know a lot of fighters always say this, but it's true. It's been the best training camp of my career, and I'm in the best shape of my life. And I've missed my family like crazy, but it's going to be worth it when I win this belt on Saturday.
Joshua
is looking past me. He's talked about a few times now about what fights might be next, and that's a big mistake because he's not going to have that belt after Saturday night. And I'm not thinking about what's next. I'm thinking about winning this fight on Saturday, and I'm not even thinking for 1 second about what's next. I want that belt more than anything, and that's all I'm thinking about.
Let me ask you
this. This is huge for Australia. Not many of us Australians make it over here to the Mecca of boxing, Las Vegas, the big stage. And it's up to me to win this fight and to show that, the other Australians, that it is possible to to come over here and fight on the big stage and to be successful and to win world titles. I like both guys, and I've spent a bit of time with Cal the last few days, and he's a really great guy. But on paper, you'd have to say that Terence Crawford is going to win the fight. He's the number one or arguably number one pound for pound boxer in the world. So you'd have to tip Terence Crawford to win. But I think it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm really looking forward to it. Feeling great. I'm so excited that this fight's almost here. It's all I've thought about for the last 5 months, and finally, fight night's just a couple of days away. So, yeah, I'm just excited for Saturday night. I couldn't handle waiting any longer. I'm just itching to get in the ring, to get this fight back on and to get my world title back. So, yeah, I can't wait.
Being a challenge.
Well, I'm more motivated and more determined than I've ever been in my whole life. So it's the first time I've been a challenger, really, coming off a loss. And, yeah, as I said, more motivated, more determined than ever in my life. So I just can't wait to get in the ring on Saturday. Some things went wrong in that first fight. I sustained a few injuries, which probably prevented me from fighting my best without making excuses. And, you know, I've learned a lot of lessons from that fight. I've watched it back many times, and I'm very confident that I've made the adjustments needed to win this fight. I'll win the fight.
What do you feel?
Last time I probably let him control the last half of the fight too much. But this time you're going to see a much better fighter in the ring this time, and a much better performance from myself. And I'm going to control this fight, and I'm going to win convincingly.
Some were even saying
I truly do. As much as it sucks losing my title and losing the fight, I feel like in the long run for my career, it's probably the best thing that could have happened to me, because I feel like I've improved so much since that fight already. And I never want to go through that pain of losing ever again. I don't know, that loss just showed me just how badly I want it, how much that world title meant to me. And as I said, I've done everything possible to make sure that I win this fight on Saturday. And there's just no way I'm going to let him leave the ring with that belt. It's coming back home with me.